Let's make sure the stream is working here. I do believe we have a working stream right now. There we go. Okay. All right, guys, let's get started. Let's go ahead and get that music rolling. All right, so first of all, I want to congratulate Amy Sotz. You are this week's winner. I've already sent the 10 Bitcoin to you. Congratulations, and keep watching. Again, if you want to be part of this competition where I give $10 a day for commenting, liking, subscribing my video, please go ahead and do those things. Comment about what you like, what you didn't like, something that you think I was, described very well, something that you completely disagreed with. Just let me know in the comments and put your Bitcoin address, and you have a chance to win $10. Sometimes a little more if I'm in the mood. Here's just the payment proof. I have sent it out already, and we are looking pretty good on there. As far as decentralized finance, Hive is still going very well. I'm about to cross a threshold in this next week or so, where I'll be making a little bit more money with Hive. I'm very excited about that. Probably going to double what I make on that very soon. Looking at the Hive Buzz profile, we're 10% of the way to Orca. Eventually we'll get there. I have to have about 100,000 investments to become an Orca, so hopefully one day in the next maybe couple years or so, I'll get there. We'll see what happens. After Orca, the income kind of goes down. Well, not down, but it kind of stays flat, so we'll see what happens. All right. As far as free Bitcoin, that is still going extremely well. Still making my daily income on that, and we'll continue doing that for the future. Crypto.com had my first payout this week. It was USD coin. My minimum investment there has cashed out. It cashes out weekly, so I've just been testing it. Since I have seen this, I am going to start recommending it in my links in the feed. So if you want to see a link to crypto.com, as well as things like their MCO card, links in the description below. It's going extremely well, and I plan to put more on that platform in the mid-future. All right, so today we're talking all about BlockFi. Before we can talk all about BlockFi, we have to establish a couple of definitions here. Decentralized finance. Decentralized finance is essentially any form of finance that is based on blockchain to limit the point of failure. A lot of the ways that decentralized finance is organized is through staking, lending, crowdfunding, smart contracts, providing liquidity, or some kind of mix of these programs. So the plan, the best way for me to make passive income using decentralized finance is to use platforms. So I've already talked about Steemit. I've already talked about free Bitcoin. Now this is going to be one of the big honchos in the community right now called BlockFi. And BlockFi is one of the, I believe it's the largest, it provides the highest interest rate for Bitcoin at the moment. Also for Ethereum. I mean, it depends on certain factors, but essentially this is the best platform that I have found for myself to store some of my Bitcoin and Ethereum in order to make passive income. BlockFi makes their income by lending out your coins and providing liquidity in the form of loans to larger institutions. And I believe the reason that they do that is that it changes the way that they pay taxes. So if they were to use their own money and invest, then they have to deal with capital gains tax. Whereas if they borrow and or lend it, it doesn't necessarily apply the same way. So you are providing liquidity, and that liquidity is guaranteeing you a percentage. And what I mean by the highest percentages, they give you 6% a year for Bitcoin. That is one of the highest percentages in the community. and the way they do it is more convenient to the user. Um, the only downside I would say is that when you get above 5 Bitcoin, the rate, I believe, of the Bitcoin over 5 is only 3.2. So at that point, if you're over 5, maybe consider sending it to another platform, or it will start to average down, right? Ethereum 4.5, that's a competitive rate. There are other places that are a little bit above or a little bit below, depending on how you use those platforms. But one of the other main draws of the site is USD coin and the other stable coins that are here. Again, stable coins being coins that are equal to a currency, so like the US dollar. Again, the usefulness of a stable coin is that you don't have to necessarily pay capital gains tax, because when you cash out, it's equal to the dollar. Or if it's not that day for whatever reason, it's just going to be a couple cents. And that's something you can pay through other forms of taxes. So it's really nice. They have some withdrawal limits, but for the average Joe, it's not going to be a big deal. I mean, 100 Bitcoin is essentially $1 million. So unless you're withdrawing $1 million, it's not that big of a deal. And they have different rules for each state. And you can look this up on their website right now. If you make a BlockFi account, this is what a BlockFi account would generally look like. So you'll have the high cap coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, GUSD, Litecoin, Paxos, USD coin. And what it's going to do is kind of give you a rough pie chart, or pie bar, if you want to call it that, of what you have. And it's going to list your total amount there, the interest that you've accrued, and the total interest paid. They pay out monthly on this platform. So you accrue interest every day, and whatever you have on the platform accrues interest. You can withdraw at any time, which is great. You'll lose the interest going forward, but that interest will not be paid out till the month is over. So that for me makes this platform a more longer term investment. If I put something in this platform, I want it to sit there and stay there for a little while. And a lot of the high percentage platforms that do this will often ask you to leave your coins there for a couple months. Now, for those of you who believe that, not your keys, not your coins, that's a real security threat, because if they have your coins or they have the private keys to your coins, then it's really their cryptocurrency at this point. But that's where the trust comes in. So they are actually custodianed by Gemini, which I believe which is headed by the Winklevoss twins, and they have insurance both in, I believe, FDIC for U.S. dollars, as well as Lloyd's of London and other things for the actual crypto. In a really nice interview that CryptoLark did, which is also in the description below, he was talking to one of the co-founders, and the co-founder said, like, for some reason that BlockFi went under, then what would happen is, essentially, as part of the process for whatever they would need to do to make sure that the company was still solvent, everybody would still get their cryptocurrency back. So that is their plan. I like the stance of the founder, as they kind of talk about how the ecosystem has been growing a ton in the past couple of years, and they're not really a rival to everyone, but just another piece of the puzzle needed to make this more mainstream. So again, let's go through some of the pros and cons of the platform. Very high interest rate, 8%. Again, banks are offering less than 1% most of the time. You won't even get above 1 or 2% often unless it's the peak of a really good economic season, or you have like a crazy money market account, or and even then you're still only going to get like 2-3% per year, and that's with hundreds of thousands of dollars. So again, high interest rate, pays out monthly. You can withdraw anytime. It's great for the higher cap coins. So we have Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and the stable coins. They have insurance, as we just talked about. They have an exit strategy. It pays out monthly. Depending on what you want to do, that may be a little bit too long for some people, especially if you're strapped for cash. Now again, you can withdraw your money anytime, but again, you'll cut into your profits. So it depends on how you would want to do it. For me, again, it's a longer term platform, and that's what I have chosen to do. So if I added this onto a configuration with free Bitcoin, then it really comes down to I slowly build up this platform either from my Bitcoin on free Bitcoin or from my cold wallet and put some in here and let it be a higher yield account that can also supply back to these other things. Um, withdrawals are a little bit slow. They take a day, so you need to do it like I believe they do it in East Coast time by a certain time. So you need to make sure that if you want your money within a day, you have to get on that. Otherwise, it could take a day and a half to 2 days. As far as altcoins, they don't really have many altcoins. That is technically both a pro and a con. They're doing what they know or think will succeed, right? They're not going to invest in coins that are still kind of making a name for themselves. I tried their mobile app. I think it still needs a little bit of work. It's not like bad, but it doesn't have all the functionality I think it could have right now. It's fairly simplistic. When it comes to your income per day or per year, um, so if free Bitcoin requires about $1 million to make $3,000 a month, well, with a higher interest rate, you don't need as much. So for Bitcoin, you would only need 600,000 to make $3,000 a month, or $6,000 to make $1 a day paid out every month. With USD coin at 8.6%, you only need $4,000 to make $1 a day, or 400,000 for $3,000 a month. So with these higher interest rates, you can see a way to get out of your daily grind if you just save. It makes saving worthwhile. It's platforms like this that put a lot of the large banks and international, I forget if it's the IMF or other things like that, puts them on notice. It makes them want to ban stablecoins because they're like, wait, people can just make money? Like, yeah, they can. And they're making money off of all of their friends, which is interesting. Again, large corporations who want to borrow crypto to make profit off of it and then give it back, and you get interest off of that. Overall, BlockFi, for me, I've used it for at least for a couple months now. It's been great. I haven't had any issues. I've seen the interview with the founder again. Link to the description below. CryptoLark did that interview, and I just hope that it keeps going for a while longer. All right, Bitcoin has been all over the place the past couple days. Took a dip yesterday, has recovered quite a lot today. So if you bought the dip, congratulations. Yeah, look at that giant green wick down yesterday, but it's recovered and is going up today. We've just had more whales splashing around. There's no real reason for what the coin's doing other than people just either panicking or selling, or it could be some more miners capitulating. There just isn't too much going on for why it would go down. The only reason I could think of is if you have whales both involved in stocks as well as crypto, that they might just be afraid that all assets are going down. Especially if it's automatically traded and you don't have a person at the helm, then a computer may have an algorithm that goes all assets into dollars. And then it goes, oh, Bitcoin's fine. Okay, put a little back. So, unfortunately, when you have exposure to large whales that are in traditional markets, you get people who are just scared and don't understand the asset, especially if they're older. It is what it is. Those of us who've been in the community for a while understand this roller coaster, and it's not a big deal. We're post-halving. There just isn't too much to worry about. I'm just excited for the future. There's a lot going on. As far as that goes, guys, I believe that'll cover it for today. We just talked about BlockFi. I'll be talking more about decentralized platforms coming up. If there's anything you'd like me to cover, or there's anything that you think would be interesting, put that in the comments along with your Bitcoin address, and you'll be entered into the free giveaway for $10 of Bitcoin. Other than that, be safe, be healthy. Don't go stir crazy if you're still indoors, and have a wonderful week, guys. Bye.